You wake up tired, even after a full night of sleep. Your chest feels tight before your feet even touch the floor. Your mind is already running, replaying yesterday, predicting tomorrow, wondering if you're falling behind in life or in faith. And somewhere underneath all of that, there's a quiet shame, because you love God. So why are you still anxious? For a lot of Christians, anxiety doesn't just feel like a mental health struggle. It feels like a spiritual failure. You read verses about peace, about not being afraid, about casting your cares on God. And instead of comfort, you feel pressure. If I really trusted Him, wouldn't I be calmer? If my faith was stronger, wouldn't my mind be quieter? But here's the truth most people don't say out loud. Being a Christian does not make you immune to anxiety. And anxiety does not mean you lack faith. Let's start with someone we rarely talk about this way. David, the same David who killed Goliath, who wrote worship songs, who is called a man after God's own heart. Open the Psalms and you don't find a man floating in constant peace. You find someone saying things like, "Why am I so disturbed within me? My heart pounds. Terror overwhelms me. How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever?" That doesn't sound like someone who never struggled. It sounds like someone who wrestled deeply. David experienced betrayal, isolation, danger, loss, uncertainty about the future, and his body responded like any human body would, with fear, hypervigilance, racing thoughts. In psychological terms, anxiety is not a sin response. It is often a nervous system response. Your brain is wired to detect threat. When life feels unstable, when relationships feel fragile, when the future feels unclear, your mind goes into protection mode. It scans for danger. It rehearses worst-case scenarios. It tries to solve problems before they happen. That doesn't mean you don't trust God. It means you're human. But here's where it gets deeper. For many young Christians, anxiety isn't just about work or relationships. It's about calling, purpose, expectations. You scroll through social media and everyone seems to be thriving, building ministries, launching businesses, getting married, finding their lane, and you're praying, waiting, wondering if you missed something. That gap between where you are and where you think you should be creates pressure, and pressure fuels anxiety. Now think about Elijah. After calling down fire from heaven, after experiencing a massive spiritual victory, he runs into the wilderness, exhausted, afraid, asking God to take his life. This wasn't weakness. It was burnout, emotionally, spiritually, physically. God's response to Elijah is interesting. He doesn't rebuke him for not having enough faith. He lets him sleep. He feeds him. He allows him to rest before speaking truth. Sometimes anxiety is amplified, not because you're far from God, but because you're depleted. There's also the reality of spiritual dryness. When prayer feels quiet, when worship feels flat, when God feels distant, your mind starts filling in the silence. Did I do something wrong? Is he disappointed in me? Is this punishment? But seasons of silence are not proof of absence. Even Jesus, on the cross, quotes a psalm that begins with, my God, why have you forsaken me?" The Bible does not hide human anguish. It gives it language. Psychologically, anxiety often grows in uncertainty, and faith does not eliminate uncertainty. It gives you something to hold on to within it. Faith is not the absence of racing thoughts. It is choosing where to anchor them. So what do you actually do when you're anxious and you love God? First, stop fighting the feeling as proof you're failing. Notice it, name it. I feel overwhelmed right now. I feel afraid about my future. I feel alone even though I believe God is with me. Naming emotions reduces their intensity. It moves them from chaos to clarity. Second, bring your honest thoughts to God, not your polished ones. The Psalms are raw for a reason. God is not intimidated by your mental spiral. He would rather have your unfiltered fear than your distant performance. Third, take care of your body. Sleep, movement, real conversations, therapy if you need it. Faith and psychology are not enemies. God designed your brain. Using tools to support it is not betrayal. And maybe most importantly, redefine what strong faith looks like. Strong faith is not never feeling anxious. It is continuing to turn toward God while anxious. It is whispering a prayer through tears. It is showing up even when your mind is loud. You are not broken because you struggle. You are not less spiritual because you see a counselor. You are not disappointing God because your thoughts feel heavy. Anxiety may be part of your story right now, but it is not the measure of your faith. There is a gentle kind of peace, not loud, not dramatic, but steady, the kind that grows slowly as you learn to sit with God honestly, as you learn to care for your mind without shame, as you realize that even the heroes of Scripture trembled sometimes. If this resonated with you, if you've been silently carrying anxiety and wondering what it says about your faith, you're not alone. There is space here for honesty, for our questions, for healing. And if you want more conversations like this, thoughtful, grounded in Scripture, and grounded in real life, you can subscribe and stay with us. We're walking this journey together, one honest breath at a time,